Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Okay, I have Tom Sims, 4-year aged. Tom Sims bourbon was introduced in 1956. It's a 6-year age, which I should have bought when I was in McAllen, Texas, but okay. My friend David gave me this bottle. I said, "Are you going to ever drink it?" Because I knew he would just keep it on the shelf for years. And I said, "Could I use it for taste challenges?" He said, "Okay." Then later he said, "You're an Indian giver." I said, "I gave it to you. You can have it. Keep it. I'm just saying, if you weren't going to use it, could I taste challenge it? I'd buy it if you wanted. I didn't pay but $9.99." So he kind of backed off on that. Anyway, because when I buy these things, I want to drink through them, drink them. You know what I mean? Do the taste challenges, get through them. I don't really ever buy anything with the intention of just setting it on a display or not drinking it. Okay, that's just me. Some people save stuff forever, like beer. They'll save 10 years, stuff that should have been drunk 3 years at the outermost limits of age. So, but that's, if it's your product, keep it forever. I don't care. But me, my attitude is I buy stuff if it's a drink, to drink it. You know, I'd buy food to eat it. I know people that save food like it's a museum piece. Freezer full of food. I say, how would they ever eat all this? You know, and why would they keep it? I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. It's just a mystery to me. That's all. It's almost like this security blanket thing, though. Like impending doom. They have this kind of, I don't know, security thing. I don't know. I never could get that. I went through my house a few years ago and I just threw out everything I knew I would never use. Like, am I going to use this? If the answer was no, it's in the trash. Am I going to read this? Trash. And they say, no, you shouldn't throw away books because you could bring them somewhere. Look, nobody reads these old books. The library doesn't want, it's trash. Nobody wants it. Okay, now, I'm sorry. Tom Sims, age 4 years, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, especially selected and bottled by Tom W. Sims Distillery, Bardstown, Kentucky. It doesn't say especially distilled. It says selected and bottled by. So could it be distilled by a different company? Yeah. It's really Heaven Hill that bottles it. It's on their website under product specifications. There's no web page for this or anything like that. You have to look under product specifications. And they'll list it, the 4-year and the 6-year, the bottle sizes and all that. Distilled in Kentucky, it tells you on the back. Anyway, it couldn't say Kentucky whiskey if it wasn't distilled in Kentucky. Some people will say, well, they probably bought it from MGP. No. That's in Indiana. It would say American bourbon, something like that. Anytime you see something that will say American, that's a tip-off that's probably could be a blend of one from one state and another. Well, I made a hiss when I, or a pop. When I twisted the cap, I could hear the pressure release. Psh. Once again, why is pressure building up? Okay, that's not CC. CC is Cooper's Craft. People will tell me it cannot gain strength in a bottle and it will not age in a bottle. And I believe that. I mean, that sounds correct to me. But I'm just wondering, and I have a pretty good amount of this left. I got a good, 35% of it left. So, yeah, I got many more taste challenges with this. So thank you, David, for letting me have it. It's very orange. Look how deep amber that is. No coloring added. Can't add color to straight bourbon. You can add it to blended bourbon, but not straight bourbon or just what they call bourbon. Yeah, there's 2 types. Well, there's 3 types. There's 4 types. What am I saying? There's straight bourbon whiskey, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, which is different straight bourbons that are blended. And there's blended bourbon whiskey, which is at least 51% straight bourbon. And then the other 49% could be, well, anything. Could be rye whiskey, but it ain't, I mean, it could be. But it's usually going to be grain spirits, unaged grain neutral spirits. But it is a class of bourbon, blended. Yeah, it's cheaper. Okay, so generally. All right, so this is the Cooper's Craft, and it's deep amber also, so the color is not going to matter. And they're saying on the metal cap, the other one has a plastic cap. This is $24 a bottle, okay? $24 a bottle. You might find it for $22. It's unlikely. Now I got it for $9.99. Crazy price, right? Like Robert, the Whiskey Scout, says something's up with that. He says something's going on in Louisiana, something fishy, you know, like something doesn't add up. You almost have to believe that, because for us to get prices that are 75 to 80% cheaper than other places, it does seem very peculiar. And he says, how could Savannah Discount have all these prices like this? So he's starting to think some kind of organized crime issue. I don't know. I would hate to think that. But, you know, Woodford Reserve double oaked for $32 when it's normally $55 to $60 everywhere else. Ever Williams 1783 is $20 everywhere, but we got it for $11. Oh, I didn't get it. My friend David got it, $11. Jack Daniel's Rye, you know, $11.98. Everybody's got it for $24. Woodford Reserve Rye, straight rye, $13.98. Everybody else has got it for $38. You can use Walmart as a good benchmark. Well, I can, because Walmart here sells liquor. All right. And, you know, nobody's going to beat them around, you know, regular stores. So, I mean, when Walmart's got something for 38 and then I get it for 10, like the Virginia Black. And we were at Savannah Discount the other day, and they had Virginia Black, regular box, regular size, $38. My friend David said, look, I said, I know that's the regular price. But for some reason, 2 years ago, they had it for $10. $10 as opposed to 38. So see, I don't know why it's like that. And then we went up the road. Before we got there, we were on the other end of the highway. I guess you'd say up the highway, north on Highway 45. And we were at right off the road, like literally feet. We were at Disc Depot, and they had a Heaven Hill vodka. Can't remember the name. I almost bought one. I don't even like vodka, just to say, look what I bought. $3.99 for a liter. $3.99 for a liter. A liter. Vodka. It's a real brand. I looked it up on the internet. Got photos of it. People doing reviews of it. I was like, how could it be $3.99? It's the cheapest price on the planet Earth for liquor. So I don't know. I cannot answer to that. If it's organized crime, if it's some funny business going on. That parish has a known history of that. So I don't know. All I know is I find them cheap and I buy them now. Okay. I got receipts. I got ears, Frank. I hear things. So, okay. So this, in my case, it was $9.99 for each bottle. Tie. In reality, it's $9.99 for the Tom Sims, which apparently is sold in Texas. I've never seen it in Louisiana, although it comes from Kentucky. We're closer to Kentucky than Texas. You know that. And $24 for Cooper's Craft. So $9.99 plus versus $24. You would think that the $24 bottle would be much better. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Building a gentler bourbon, it says. Cooper's Craft Original is bottled at 82 point proof, which I believe I forgot the list. in my description, but I put the link. So for a gentle flavor profile that is well balanced with the finish. Maybe they're trying to like go up against like Gentleman Jack, which is supposed to be a gentler thing. I never tried Gentleman Jack, so I can't say, but I know it's supposed to be like they described it at the distillery as a watered down Jack Daniels. Not literally watered down with water, but the flavor is watered down by virtue of double mellowing it. Let it drip through charcoal and then re-drip it. You say, well, that's like double dipping with a tea bag. And that's how they described it. So they're making a bland bourbon, or I'm sorry, Tennessee whiskey, still bourbon, on purpose, and they're selling it for more. You say, so they're selling less for more, and people are going for that. Yeah. Look, if they'll buy it, just do it. I don't care. It's a pretty bottle, so buy it. I mean, sell it. I'd do it. And they're not being deceptive about it because they're telling you openly that that's what they're doing. This smells, you get the ethanol in the nose, corn, alcohol, in the nose, kind of a little spice in the nose. Cornbread, corn syrup, sweet corn grits. So like, wow, man. No, this is going to close out the bourbon series for a few months. Okay, so bourbon is going to take a rest, and then we'll bring in I can't remember what's the next bourbon I have up. Oh yeah, Henry McKenna. Henry McKenna. That's a famous brand. Also Heaven Hill, right? I think so. Just like the Tom Sims. They make so many brands. I think William Kepley found some research. They have over 1,400 brands. It's amazing. It's like Sazerac. I think Sazerac makes brands they don't even know they make. Like they're not aware of it. Like Pabst. Now this one is more caramel candy on the nose. Less corn, more caramel candy. More caramel candy. Oh, okay. Yeah, so this one's more striking wood, charred oak, and they're using beech and birch wood. Beechwood and birchwood. There's two streets close to me, Beech and Birch. They're one, and Balsam. Well, our streets in this part of the town, the old part of town, are named after trees, and they're in alphabetical order. So the furthest west is like apricot, ash, actea. Actea is the furthest west, actea. And then the furthest west, east, is walnut, right? So it just goes like that. So you can always tell where you are by the virtue of the alphabet, the streets. All right. If you're on Maple Street, you're in the middle. It's different, these two, but they're not remarkably different. They're different. Now, the other one is Tom Sims. Is it charcoal filtered? I don't know. It might be chill filtered. Probably is. Inexpensive, $9.99. Age 4 years is all I know. I should have got the 6 year. Man, I'm kicking myself for not getting that 6 year. But what I'm going to do, drive to McAllen, Texas, down by the Mexican border to get this? No, I would go back there just to hang out by the Mexican border and go to Mexico because it's fun. Because it's a game. So it says, doesn't say much. Got an old distillery drawing, pen and ink drawing. There really was a Tom Sims distillery. It really was an independent company. It really did go out of business. And then the Heaven Hill people bought up their assets so many times. If you read these labels, you'd think there was 1,000 distilling companies in Tennessee and Kentucky. There's 1,000 distilling company names, but there's like 4, 5. Really, in reality, it's like 5. And they just use all these aliases, which is allowed as long as they're registered with the United States government. And they'll even give you a list, Sazerac Company, and they'll show all their alias names, which the U.S. government calls assumed names. Yeah, it's kind of deceptive, but I guess the government's attitude is, well, so what? If you drank it and you like it, who cares if it's a alias name and assumed name? And if you were really that worried about it, why didn't you go do some research? That's how they look at it. That tastes basic, like a little bitterness, which makes me think it's Cooper's Craft, corn grits, and wood. I was looking at some polenta yesterday in a bag, and I said, huh, it made me think of bourbon. True story. Bluegrass Dan. Good morning, Ron J. Terry. Good morning to you, Bluegrass Dan. BGD. Uh, that's more char, though. Here's an experiment. It's called Find a Bad Bourbon. My attitude is you can't really find one. I don't know about blended. Well, with blended bourbon, okay, that's more of a risky proposition. But I'm talking about straight bourbon. Try to find a bad straight bourbon. I haven't seen one yet. I found some that were bland, kind of ho-hum and run-of-the-mill. Okay, but I didn't say bad. Bad is like a D. It's awful. Tastes terrible. A C would be, it's okay. It's average, not really good. I haven't even run across that. Can you believe it? I haven't even run across a C. Man, the worst bourbon I've tried has been a B, minus maybe, like marginally good. So I just think that the controls, you say that's because of the U.S. government. Maybe, but could probably be the same situation if it was an association of private businesses and a trade association could regulate their own industry with the mark of approval from the association. But the process itself makes a good product. You say, what if the bourbon's no good? Well, then it gets blended off into blended whiskey. That's what the man said on the video from Heaven Hill. It's blended off with grain spirits at an 80-20 ratio, 80% grain spirits, 20% bourbon. That's a general blend. There's other ratios. And people are going to mix it with Delaware Punch or RC Cola anyway, so they wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't really matter to them if it tasted like funky because you ain't worried about the taste. They're worried about the 80 proof. Do they still make Old Granddad? Oh, yes. Saw some the other day. Old Granddad Bottle and Bond, Old Granddad 114 proof, which is too strong for this guy. And there may be some other variants that they don't list on the website, theolds.com. All right. I think I know which is which. Good morning, Ronald. Happy Tuesday, says Justin Hopkins. Happy Tuesday to you, Justin. All right. I like them both, but I think this one in my right hand is the Cooper's Craft because it's got a sharper, stronger charred oak. The bitterness, that strange bitterness, that dry wood thing going. It's like dry. It's like if you put a match by it, it would light without any lighter fluid, Like you just need a little piece of the wood hanging off and it would lighten and the whole log would burn up. Whereas with Jim Beam, you get the green wood like it hasn't cured. It's still got water in it, moisture. All right. So the Tom Sims. It must be I think it's a much lower char level. Like the Cooper's Craft is probably number 4 char, the alligator char. They let it burn for a while inside the barrel and then get good thick char. I think the Tom Sims probably like a number 2, like a mid. It's just like middling char. Nothing wrong with that. I just think that's the way they're doing it. Make it light. A relatively light, let's say, not light. Okay, Cooper's Craft is better. I'll admit that. It tastes better. See, I'll admit it, you know. Now, is it $14 a bottle better? Oh, no, that's another argument. Well, wood is distinct. It's really woody. It's got a distinctive character there. The Sims. You get more ethanol, like rubbing alcohol, but you know, it's not rubbing alcohol, it's ethanol. That's rubbing alcohol is what they call that? The wood alcohol. I can't think of the name. I was going to say it's kind of like Ancient Age, but I don't know. I think Ancient Age may be a little better, even though it's a year younger. I guess it's kind of, I was going to say Evan Williams Black Label. Yeah, it might be kind of like that. I don't know. It's just kind of run in the mill. It's not bad, though. If you want an inexpensive bourbon that's going to taste okay, like B minus, something like that. Tom Sims, 4 years, probably be fine. Paying $9.99 a bottle, no problem, no problem. If you want something more developed, more high quality, got more flavor, more body, more finish, more character, pay the $14 and get the Cooper's Craft. Although, to be fair to this challenge, you know, when I first reviewed it in a solo, I only gave it a B. Just a straight B. Like good. Not even very good. Now I would change that, I think, by drinking on it and thinking on it. Think it's better than I perceived. It's probably at least a B plus. Some of these are hard to gauge. You know, you do one tasting and you say, that's the score. That's great. But really, to give it a good score, you want to really drink on them over a number of days and even taste challenge them. It's like beer reviews. You know, I taste it once, give a score, roll on. That's not really that good of a way to do it. I mean, you got to do it that way because people get sick of looking at the same thing. But really, to be fair, you want to get a whole 6-pack and then, or at least a 4-pack, but optimally a 6-pack and go through it, think on it. Of course, you'd hate to do that with camo beers, but it's just it's more accurate, it's more reliable because the score, you see if the score replicates, you know, like I did the Sierra Nevada, no, the Voodoo Ranger Hazy American Haze. I gave it a B. It was good, but I should have gotten a 6-pack and go through the whole thing 6 times, see if it replicates. But people are going to get so frustrated with that, and they'll say, I don't want to watch your channel anymore. You do every beer 6 times. I mean, I can't take it. You say, yeah, but you already said that's not the focus of your channel, getting views and all that. I get that. True. But I wouldn't want to do it either. You know what I mean? I would get sick of doing it too, to an extent. So I like to do the revisits, come back a few years later. So it's just a balancing act. I get sick of stuff. The people will get sick of watching it. So it's just how you tackle it, I guess. Oatmeal. What's everyone eating for breakfast? I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay? Admittedly, I had the Walmart brand strawberry preserves and the Walmart brand peanut butter, which was good. They must have a good contractor that does it for them, probably like Welch's, you know. Welch's. I think Folgers must do their coffee because it tastes suspiciously identical to Folgers medium roast. But the bread is from a big bread company. What's the name of that company? Oh yeah, Oven Fresh, but it's not Oven Fresh. There's no company. It's just a brand. I think it's the big bread company that makes so many brands. White bread. Why it's got to be white bread? Okay. Distributed by European Bakers of Thomasville, Georgia. Notice it said distributed by. It doesn't say made by. Or try to track down who makes this. Well, whatever. It's real fluffy. It's great. Flowers. I don't know. It didn't say. It could be them. I enjoy honey wheat bread with my peanut butter and jelly. Oh, yeah. Breakfast burritos. Good choice. All right. Well, anyway, I didn't call it yet. It's a taste challenge, right? I think this is the Tom Sims. Now, if it says CC, then I'm wrong because that's Cooper's Crab. But let's look. No, it's the Tom Sims. I can take the labels off now because we're going into we're starting the rum, the Diary of Rum. Yeah. Starting in 2 days. The plan is we're gonna do Cruzan. Age gold against all the other golds that I've got. Now, my friend David was saying, Cruzan, why'd you buy that? That's a low-end product. That's what kids in high school drank. And I was like, look, I just had people telling me Cruzan was good, and it's been made by the same family for like 200 years, so 210 years. So, I mean, you're saying how horrible it is. I don't think that makes sense. It's not that great. It's bland, I found. But as a one tasting, you can't put too much trust in one tasting, like I just finished ranting about to an extent. Not ranting, talking about. If you want to say it's bland but terrible, no, I can't accept that. Age 2 years. It seemed between 2 and 4 years. They said, oh yeah, it seems fine to me. I would just get Bacardi. Of course, you're gonna pay more. Well, anyway, I think I like that. I think Skull is going to give it a good run. Skull, I got for $6.99 for a liter. It's a super dry. It's a gold rum, but it's like their calling card, their selling point is super dry. And it is. It's like drinking wood. You know, it's like, whoa, I'm drinking the barrel, man. I'm very familiar with Thomasville, Georgia. I believe Flowers is headquartered there. Okay, so that makes sense. Cruzan is good in my opinion, says Kevin. All right, so I'm really getting into rye whiskey, which to me is a more enjoyable than bourbon. I could live without bourbon, tell you the truth. I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. I get tired of that corn grits taste. You say you're dumb. You are so dumb. You are so dumb because all the cool people love bourbon. I know that. I get that. I accept that the cool people love bourbon, and I can't be a cool guy or an acceptable person even if I don't like bourbon. I totally understand that. And you say, well, only quirky weirdos like rye, the eccentrics, the outliers, not the in crowd. Okay, all right. Okay, I know that. But I like it. And I know what you're going to say. Rye tastes like toothpaste, like minty toothpaste. Okay, all right. I like minty toothpaste. All right, Skull was our rail vodka when I bartended. I see that a lot. I think Skull is a real common well brand. The Skull rum is a very interesting product. I don't care how cheap it is. It's interesting. It's been on the market since 1956, interestingly. Okay. Cooper's Craft for the win. And I haven't gotten it wrong yet. Think about that. All these taste challenges, and I haven't gotten it wrong once. So what does that mean? I'm a great taste challenger? Oh, I wouldn't say that. It's probably because Cooper's Craft is unique and doesn't taste like anything else. That's your answer. So you want to buy a bourbon that has an interesting flavor that you may or may not like? Get Cooper's Craft. I would say it's not going to be like anything you've had before or maybe since. No. Thanks for watching this video production. I did the flavored beer this morning, posted that. I mean, the thing was recorded days ago, but the BLK berry, blackberry, that was an unusual flavor. It didn't taste like most of those flavored beers. It had a sharp quality, and the sweetness was very low on it. So, means you really love Cooper's. I would say yes. I do love Cooper's Craft. I heard how bad it was. David, you told me how bad it was. I reject that. But he, of course, he rejects a lot of my contentions. People say, you don't get along too well. When you do those reviews, you like, there's a lot of sniping back and forth. Oh, yeah, that's true. But then that's what makes it interesting. We agree on the fact that we like trying out beers and saying what we think about it. I never said that we agreed on beer. We do sometimes, and sometimes we don't. We do on liquor, sometimes we don't. See what I mean? You don't have to agree on it. You could just agree that you like talking about it and trying them out and seeing what you think about it. That's the fun part. You don't have to agree. Correct spelling, Flowers Foods. Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we get so much of their bread here. It's just a common thing. Thanks you all.